Straight to the equity markets, and after yesterday's consolidation, it was heartening to see quite a bit of traction on the benchmarks. And you had the volume also, which picked up pace by the end of the day, 1.2 lakh crores thereabouts, with the breadth also sustaining in favor of the gaining side. For the broader markets too, you saw good performance. The mid-cap index was higher by 0.2%, and it was a small-cap index which was largely in tandem with how the benchmark indices performed. For the sectoral movers, IT and real estate, they really contributed to the gains. But on the downside, you had metals as well as auto, which were a tad weak. Index gainers came in the form of Siemens, which really flexed its muscles. You had IDFC, HDFC, and a slew of banking stocks really which reared their head toward the end of the session. So Kotak Mahindra Bank featured on the list with a good gain of 2%. But the stocks in focus and on everyone's radar today were certainly all of the oil marketing companies. There's been so much touch and go when it comes to hopes of rising fuel prices. But we had Jayapal Reddy, who said that it's unavoidable, although he did not really give too much details as to when that fuel price hike would be undertaken. The CCPA meet also has been deferred. And even as the centre remains blind about when to hike the prices of diesel, coking gas and kerosene, he did in fact, Jayapal Reddy said that an increase in prices is unavoidable, although the next decision is expected over the next few days. The Cabinet's all-important Political Affairs Committee was scheduled to meet today, but the meeting, remember, was deferred. And after a meeting with the Finance Minister, Reddy said that the government is left with very few options because oil marketing company losses have already crossed 1.8 lakh crores.
As of now, if we project for the remaining period, the under-recoveries will exceed 1,88,000 crores. And with prices going up further at the global level, with rupee not softening, the under-recoveries could be anything beyond that. However painful and difficult the increase in the price of oil products may be, increase is unavoidable. I can't take decisions only on the basis of economic facts. We are operating in a political economy. We'll have to take balanced views.
So that's clear indications coming in from the oil minister that a fuel price hike is certainly imminent, even though the meeting of the Cabinet Committee on Political Affairs has been deferred. It's perhaps only a matter of days before the fuel bills are likely to soar. So let's get Nithya Balakrishnan, who joins in with the latest details from New Delhi. Nithya.
Well, Ivan, clearly this morning, at least in Delhi, the queues outside, petrol and diesel pumps was actually serpentine. It almost seemed like the consumer had, dealt with the fact it was bracing up for a fuel price hike, something that, Jayapal Reddy also reiterated was just unavoidable given the fact that oil marketing companies are currently definitely not in the best of health. And what we also understood from the minister's comments were it will be price hike across all products of fuel, which means it is not just the petrol, diesel, but LPG and kerosene coming our way as well. So what exactly does the government have on its mind at the moment? It is getting on board all different allies. Remember, we did hear the minister say that it was a political decision and not just one based on mere economics. We're given to understand that 2 lakh crore rupees is likely to be the subsidy burden for the oil marketing companies this fiscal. So that definitely, the fact that there needs to be a fuel price hike is understood. But what the government is desperately trying to do at the moment is ensure that politically all allies are on board before this crucial decision is taken, because given to understand that the opposition will definitely create a huge uproar, they at least want all the allies on their side when this crucial decision is taken. And we're given to understand it's just a matter of a few days.
Okay, just a matter of a few days. Thanks very much, Nithya, for giving us those details. Meantime, in the metals pack, you had Sesa Goa and Sterlite Industries. They plunged in trade as Goa temporarily suspended all the mining activities, and the expert panel has found to reveal some serious illegalities as well as irregularities in mining. Sesa Goa came out and said that it has submitted their documents to the Goan government for scrutiny for an early restart of their mines. But nonetheless, the stocks were certainly punished in today's session. Add to that list in the infrastructure space and IRB Infra, because the company got a service tax demand of 60.4 crores payable on toll collected by some of its subsidiaries between FY07 and FY11. The company said that they will appeal against the service tax demand which has been levied against the company. On the upside, though, you had a Panacea Biotech. That counter soared in today's session as it has entered an alliance with Osmotica Pharma, which will sell Panacea drugs in the US. So up by 20%, and it was 108 for that counter. You also had NIIT Tech. That counter on an acquisition soared in today's session. It has acquired Sabra Philippines Development Center, and you can see a spurt in the volume as well as price activity toward the fag end of the session. Deccan Chronicle, that ever volatile candidate, today was in the limelight on the downside. Some comments coming in from the banking secretary that they are aware of the Deccan Chronicle holding situation and that Canara Bank is one of the lead bankers of the lenders consortium to the company and will be conducting a forensic audit of Deccan Chronicle. News definitely didn't go down well. Karnataka Bank, though, there has been the news yesterday post-market hours that the board is mulling a rights issue in their board meet on the 14th of this month, 5.5% off for that counter. But all in all, for the markets, you did have quite a bit of momentum which seeped in toward the fag end of the session. In fact, the Nifty futures crossed 5,400. Let's get in Navneet Saluja, who joins in from our research desk with the details. Navneet.
Hi, Avan. Psychologically, a very good closing coming in there for the markets. If you look at the Nifty September futures, they closed above the 5,400 mark at 5,405 with premium of about 16 points to spot Nifty, and good amount of build-up was also seen. Nifty futures added about 18 lakh shares in today's trading session, and on the options front, you had the Nifty PCR which touched the level of 1. Now, that's a very positive sign because in the last few trading sessions, you had the PCR trading below that level of 1, and the most active strikes during the day were 5,400 call and 5,300 put. A lot of put writing was seen in the system today, right? Starting from strikes 5,100 to 5,400, all the put strikes ranging. These strikes added over 10 lakh shares, in fact between 10 to 16 lakh shares, and that was the reason you saw Nifty PCR inching upwards. And on the buying side, you had 5,600 September call which added over 6 lakh shares. On the stock futures front, among the Nifty gainers, you had Siemens, which was one of the biggest gainers. Fresh long positions were seen there, and also followed by BPCL, HDFC. All these counters were up and about in today's trading session. Some of the banking counters like Kotak Mahindra Bank and Bank of Baroda too were up in today's trading session. Fresh longs were seen there, and on the short side, clearly Sesa Goa was under pressure post the mining ban coming in the state of Goa, and followed by Sterlite too with the merger overhang. Both these counters were down in today's trading session. Huge amount of short positions were created there, and from the mid-cap space, a lot of counters like Polaris, Rolta, Unitech, Opto Circuits and Adani Enterprises where fresh long positions were created. In terms of participation, a better day than yesterday. We did about 1 lakh crore of turnover on NSE by the end of the day. Back to you.
Okay, Navneet, thanks very much for those details. So the mid-cap end of the market clearly very active, and case in point being the entire pharma pack for the second day on the trot, you saw massive gains coming in for some of these counters. So pull up a Suvin Life Sciences, a Fresenius Kabi, as well as an Opto Circuits. All of those counters reacted very smartly today on the back of pretty strong volumes. But it wasn't just the mid-cap pharma space. You also had mid-cap IT stocks which soared. So the likes of a Geodesic, Polaris Finance, as well as a Hexaware, all of them were up and about in today's session. From the textile space, Arvind reared its head as Reliance Industries as well as Arvind are perhaps in partnership talks with a Swiss company which will be setting its footprint in India. Zenith Info was higher by 4.2% as the Bombay High Court has adjourned the winding up case to September 27th, and more extension on that case will be arrived at consent terms. The company, remember, is looking to settle 450 crore FCCB spat with its lenders. On the downside, as pointed out, metal was really a big drubbing on the overall index. So Sesa, Sterlite, JSPL, all of those counters stumbled in the session, taking down with it auto stock hero Motocorp.